I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little girl, them. And I'm gonna tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maize Man. I'm here with my guy,
Kinetic.
We are waiting on the Maniac, but in the meantime, we got a dope show lined up for all of you. Put our heads together. Really, I got to give the credit to Maniac and Kinetic for tonight's topic. But this is what we're doing. All-time Michigan team, Kinetic. I'm going to let you explain it a little more to the people on what we're doing.
All right, so are we doing all of it tonight or just one side?
We're going to do defense tonight,
Okay.
actually. Part one, defense tonight.
So what we're doing tonight, guys, is we're going to go through and we're going to pick by position groups. We're going to pick our favorite players in Michigan history. So this is not the all-time Michigan team. This is not the best players at each position. This is our personal favorites for the guys that made us fans, the guys that made us tune in, the guys that made us jump up out of our seats that we enjoyed watching. Each one of us we're going to go position group by position group, and we're going to put out our guys at that position. And we're going to keep tally of this, and we'll do another show at a later time with the offensive side of the ball. And then we're going to take a look at the whole roster. We're going to do it, the three of us, but we're also going to have a caller, viewers team. So we'll bring in one caller for each position group, and that caller will pick the players, their favorite players for that position group for the team. And each position group for the caller's team is going to have a different person picking the players for that group. And then once we have all the teams together, we're going to put them up on our social media and let y'all vote on which one y'all rocking with the most.
Which will obviously be my team.
Oh no, they're all going to side with Kinetic. They know that. Right. like Dexter Green said, my team is going to be kinetically correct.
Yo, so there you have it. Those are the rules. Prepare yourselves, because out the gate, and by the way, Maniac, we gave you credit for this idea as well as
it was Maniac's idea. I just built on it.
Absolutely.
That's the point. That's the point of ideas. Throw it out and we just built. For sure. By the way, hit the like button on your way in. Make sure you share this with your friends, family on social media, all that good stuff. The details there. But here we go. Defensive tackles. And we'll just go in a circle, and then we'll snake back the other way when we get to the next position group. All right. So how you guys want to do this? You want everybody to name their defensive tackle picks, or one by one? How you want to do it? No, two. No, name. Do two at a time. So
all right,
you're gonna do your DEs. When we get to the DEs, you're gonna name both your DEs. You name both your tackles, but you gotta explain why. Just not. Oh, I'm picking him because I just like him. No, that's
exactly
not
right. I like it.
Well, to be fair though, there are some players that I'm going to be picking that I was watching when I was real young, and I wasn't really a statistics guy. So there are some guys on my list that are just I like watching them.
For that, right?
Yeah. I'm not. We ain't gonna go down that hole with statistics.
Absolutely.
That's when we making millions of dollars. Like these guys, and then we could really break it down. But anyway,
yeah, I don't rock with that dude. But I already got word that that's what he was doing. Trying to make. He's actually live right now too, and it's a Michigan versus Ohio State show that he's got going on. He probably saw our shit earlier and stole that idea.
Oh, you talking about the guy that runs the Voice of College Football?
Yeah. But apparently he's cherry picking reasons that Ohio State.
That's what Ohio State fans do. That's all they do is cherry pick.
That sort of thing. All right, so let me go. I'm gonna get into my picks for DTs. I chose, and these are just my picks. I chose Mason Graham. Obviously, Mason Graham's an absolute.
Right, so you're going interior first.
Yeah, DTs, right. Interior, right.
Mason Graham, absolute monster. Arguably, maybe inarguably for some, the greatest Michigan defensive tackle in history. Certainly in the last 10 years, I would say. Although there are some good, there's been some good DTs, but I like Mason Graham here. And then for my other choice, I chose Maurice Hurst. Just an absolute unit in the middle of the field. Maybe not as productive number-wise as some other guys that you can choose, but certainly blocked up the middle of the field during his time. So those are my choices for defensive tackle. Let us know in the comment section what you pick for defensive tackle. You only get 2 choices. Don't come up here and be like, oh, I like this guy and this guy and this guy. Give us
and my bench D tackle.
Exactly. Yeah. Kinetic, you're up.
All right, give me a second. I'm just sitting here. Okay, so y'all might think I'm cheating a little bit here. Okay, so I like a very specific style of defense. Okay, and I personally, for defensive tackle, so defensive tackle, D tackle 1, I picked Mason Graham as well. I think he's the best D tackle in the history of Michigan. He's been an absolute phenomenon to watch the last couple of years. But for my second D tackle, I am moving a guy that I liked that we played on the edge. But if I said the whole time he was there, I think this guy would be a monster on the interior. With the type of defensive line that I like to build, that I like to see, I'm putting our guy Rashawn Gary on the interior, rushing from the inside of the line. That dude is quick, but he's powerful, man. I like the quick guys, the guys that can bend a little bit on the outside. But Rashawn Gary, man, just overpowered guy.
Hold that thought, Kinetic, because we got to correct someone. Obviously, shout out to Jason D'Angelo, who's found his way to another Michigan channel. We appreciate you, by the way. And your opinions. However, we are doing defensive tackles right now, and Aiden certainly is an edge rusher.
But to be clear, I'm putting Rashawn Gary inside. He played D end at Michigan.
Fair. That's fair. He
always looked at him.
Tackle at Michigan.
I thought he could play D tackle if we had good ends on.
I think he was actually recruited to play defensive tackle. He was a defensive tackle coming out of high school.
But I just think of the dynamic of having Mason Graham and Rashawn Gary lined up next to each other against those interior offensive linemen.
Right,
man.
Absolutely. So, not mad at that.
No, definitely. And it's funny you mentioned that. A lot of people felt that Don Brown misused Rashawn Gary while at Michigan, and that's one position many felt he should have been playing was DT. And that's a good choice because you kind of improvise there, but that's cool. Listen, there's no right or wrong here, right? So me, gentlemen. I'm a little more old school. Flavor with the new school. I think Mason Graham till date, without a doubt, I don't even think is up for debate, is the greatest D tackle to play at Michigan so far, right? We don't know in 10
years. We're going with our favorites. So
you're going with our favorites. So I'm gonna kind of mix it up in here, man. First, I'm gonna go my man Alan Branch, right? Alan Branch. He was a monster in the interior. He wore number 80. This is the funny thing about college football, right? There's just you could wear any number, any position. He was a force on that 2016, man. Anyone who's not too familiar with him, go check it in, man. He was a straight menace at that defensive tackle, man. And I'm gonna go with, believe it or not, opposite of Mason Graham. I'm gonna go Kenneth Grant. Right, I just think you have Kenneth Grant and Alan Branch. Those are my favorites, man. These guys are just very athletic, for their size, can move very well, man. So I just think that, that combination would have been deadly as well. But yes, my D tackles are Alan Branch and Kenneth Grant.
There you have it. So real quick, we put the link in the chat. We need one person to come up after we finish defensive ends. You're going to give us the chats. You are responsible. Whoever that person is comes up. You are the chats person picking for defensive linemen. in this all-time Michigan team. Shout out to Penn State Sports Talk too, who named some good ones. Chris Hutchinson, Mike Martins, and then Glenn Steele for younger ones.
So Glenn Steele, right?
Do your research.
That was tough. So Glenn Steele was one of the anchors on the 1997 national championship team. He also played some DN, right?
Right.
Somewhat. He was kind of a mix. Yeah, but Glenn Steele was a menace. And in that same defense, Penn State, Rob Renis, right? Mm-hmm. Another one kind of. He's a Mason Graham kind of player, just a smaller version of him, but he was a menace in that middle as well, man. So Glenn Steele, man, he wore number 81, another one with the 80s. He was definitely an animal, man. He definitely wreaked havoc at that Penn State game where we cooked them 34-8 in 97, where made Michigan that team, man. He definitely made his name. So Glenn Steele's definitely a name that's up there as well.
No doubt. All right. So defensive ends are next. We're gonna start with you this time, Maniac. Let us know your defensive end picks.
So one thing Michigan hasn't been short of is DEs, man. And look, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite, man, Lamar Woodley, man. Lamar Woodley was just a menace at the end. Again, part of that 2006 team, which was just stacked. I mean, stacked with defensive players. It kills me that we end up losing that game at the end, but it is what it is. Lamar Woodley. And I'm gonna give you one too that was in the early 2000s, man. My man Graham.
Brandon
Graham. He's those two right there, man. He's a future Hall of Famer. Just won his second Super Bowl. So Brandon Graham, Lamar Woodley are my favorites. So I have Woodley, Kenneth Grant, Alan Branch, and Brandon Graham as my all-time defensive tackle team, defensive line unit. Excuse me.
No doubt. Kinetic, you up next.
So. For defensive end, my favorite position on the football field is what I played in high school, middle school. I loved it. It was my favorite thing to watch. And I've got to go with you all know my love for J.J. McCarthy, but my second favorite player in football, all of football right now, is Aiden Hutchinson. He's one of the guys that got me really, heavily back into watching football at Michigan. When I was coming out of my recovery from my stomach surgeries years ago, it was Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, that whole defense. So I got to first go with my guy Aiden Hutchinson at defensive end.
And Clark,
now
Clark was a menace.
The other guy that I'm going to pick, and I know he's not going to show up on any all-time great lists, but was a guy that I personally loved watching during what was a really hard time for me, was Chase Winovich. I loved watching him play, man. I loved watching that guy play. The energy that he had, it always seemed like even if he wasn't the one that made the tackle, he was there. He was in on it. He did something. He was always on the screen. Every play, he was involved somehow. And you'll see that's kind of a theme for me with the players that I liked. But I just loved watching him, man. So I got Chase Winovich on the other side of the defensive line.
No doubt. So I got one from each of your picks. I got Lamar Woodley, number one. Like Maniac alluded to, that early, that defense, 2006, I believe. Very, very dominant defense, and it's a shame that they didn't go further. Maybe one of the better Michigan teams that didn't win a national championship, right? So I like Lamar Woodley, and then second, Aiden Hutchinson really brought the fire back to Michigan, right? 2021 was such a pivotal year for Michigan football. It was kind of make or break for a lot of people, including the head coach at that time. Beating the other state was a must. they got it done, and Aiden Hutchinson was a big part of that, along with Ajabo and the other guy along that defensive line. So give me Aiden Hutchinson, Lamar Woodley for the defensive ends, and that bookends our defensive line picks. Let us know what you think. Also, we need one caller.
Still waiting for a caller to call in and give us the caller's team's defensive line.
Callers picks for defensive line. The link is in the chat. Let us know what you think, and also make your picks.
So just to
shout out
recap
to
real
Michigan
quick
23.
Here. Just to recap real quick here. Maize Madman has defensive line. He has Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham, Maurice Hurst, and Lamar Woodley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maniac's got Lamar Woodley, Alan Branch, Kenneth Grant, and Brandon Graham.
Correct.
Right.
And I've got Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham. I've got Rashawn Gary playing inside and Chase Winovich on the outside.
There you go.
Now, I will tell you, oh my God, I've struggled so hard because I wanted to include Brandon Graham on my team when I was figuring out my players.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to put.
I wanted to put him in so badly, but I just
he
was my first out. He was my first guy out.
No, and this is the beauty about it, right? This is our favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks, man, that Brandon Graham unfortunately played for some bad Michigan teams, man. But he's they try to use that term that Michigan man doesn't exist. Well, Brandon Graham is the epitome of a Michigan man. He, during the down years, he gave it its all. And listen, man, it trickled down to the NFL. He's 100% going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the greatest defensive players in Eagles history. And it's great. So, it's no question, man. My defensive unit is just a unit. Exactly. So, they're going to rock with the Maniac.
Yeah. So, here we go. We got a caller.
All right.
Marski.
Conversation. Yo, just defensive line, not kicker and punter.
Right.
And then the
you picking, by the way, for the rest of the fans here. Keep that in mind. You got a big responsibility. Give us your defensive line picks.
So, Mama, have you been listening from the beginning?
Nah, man, I was struggling over here with the spin yard. I had a $10 credit.
Kinetic is going to explain.
Let me get you up to speed, Marmar. So what we're doing here is we're going through and we're picking not the greatest of all time. We don't want to know who you think is the best players, but we're going through and picking our favorites. So we want you to come up with the guys that made you a fan, that made you tune in every week, that made you jump out of your seat, that you watched for on the TV. You watched for them to show up on every play. You were looking for them. You're looking for their number. We want you to give us your picks for the defensive line. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go through each position group, and we got Maize Madman's team, my team, Maniac's team, and we're going to have a caller's team. And we're going to have a different caller pick each position group. So you got the D line. So you're going to tell us the caller's team, defensive line, 2 DNs, 2 D tackles. Give us your favorites.
Your favorite, Mama. Now who you think is the greatest? Just your favorite. Who's your two?
I like that Mike Dana.
Who?
Mike
Dana.
Oh yeah,
You got him on interior or because he played both, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think he played more.
I like him. I like Cam Good.
Okay. Well, hold on, Marmar. You got Dana inside or outside on the defensive line?
I got both good. I got Cam Good and Dana inside, and then I got Ajabo on the outside, and then
you said
man, what's that dude? Yeah, what's the dude name?
Which one?
Craig Rowe. Is that his name?
Yeah, Craig Rowe. Rest in peace.
God rest his soul on edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
DG said, "Don't fuck it up."
Does Cam Good have an E on the end of good or no?
Yeah. Got the E.
It's an E on the end.
I wasn't sure if I was remembering that right. So just to recap, then, for the callers team, Marmar is picking on the defensive ends, Craig Rowe and David Ajabo.
Yeah.
And on the interior of the defensive line, he's got Mike Dana and Cam Good.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Gotcha, man.
All
That's
right.
solid.
Doing good. Hey. 3 of them are doing good. I don't know what happened to Craig. I know he passed, but I think he didn't go on to the NFL.
Who? Craig.
Craig.
Nah,
Did he ever go to the league?
No, I don't think he did.
Got drafted. And if he
Okay.
did, he's probably a free agent. And I don't think he really made a team.
Yeah, man. I don't think too far back to Brady Hoke, and I mean he had good defensive linemen. I just can't remember them all.
That was like Chase Winovich, Rashawn Gary, even.
Maurice
Rashawn Gary was
Harbaugh.
was Harbaugh, right?
Yeah. No, it was Maurice Hurst. It was
Mo-
Frank Clark.
Maurice
Frank
Hurst.
Clark.
Frank Clark.
And then the other dude, the black dude with the weird last name. He had like an African last name.
Oh.
And then the dude, Willie, the Willie dude, I forget his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about, bro.
I'm mind blanking, dude. I'm mind blanking.
Yeah, you got me lost right now. Somebody in the chat, help him out. By the way, how y'all like Marmar's picks for y'all's team? Let us know.
So just a recap here for all 4 teams. Maize Madman
played for the Panthers 1 year. Shout out to West
Squad.
Squad.
West Squad, man. I'm glad you feeling a little better, man.
Yeah, he been MIA.
By the way, go ahead.
I was just going to recap for the people that are tuning in because I'm watching our viewer numbers climb a little bit.
Yep.
So Maize Madman has chosen for the defensive line Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham, Maurice Hurst.
Hold on. Dexter, I didn't fuck it up. I was just, man, they called me. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, I've been so spoiled.
Hey, your picks are solid, man. Is this
the person you was thinking of?
Mario Ohamudia.
So Maniac got Lamar Woodley and Brandon Graham at DM. He got Alan Branch and Kenneth Grant inside. I went with Aiden Hutchinson and Chase Winovich on the ends. I went with Mason Graham and Rashawn Gary inside. And for the callers team, we got Marmar. He picked Craig Rowe and David Ajabo for the defensive ends. And the interior defensive line, we got Mike Dana and Cam Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, them good players, man. I think they help.
Come on. There's no wrong answers here.
Yeah, not at all. These are your favorites, bro. These are your favorites.
Your preference and who you like. That's why.
This is the people's team. These are the ones that you love watching.
Willie Henry is who
Willie Henry. Yeah, he was a monster.
He was a beast.
Hey,
he was a beast.
Hey, let me substitute Good for Willie Henry. Let me get that guy.
instead of Cam Good.
Cam Good, yeah. Let me get Willie Henry. Yeah, he was a monster.
All right. Gotcha. Look, so this is what we got to do. We gotta drop you down. We're gonna go to the linebackers. If you're the only caller that calls back up, we bring you back up.
Let me holler at Manic real quick.
Hold on,
let me say something. Kinetic, you my guy. It's all love, brother.
We're good.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, you good, brother. And then Manic. Here in the next couple weeks, Boston about to take off. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, Wednesday, you're going to tune into Four Corners. I'm going to have you call in.
Yeah, I am going to call in, bro. I'm going to get to hang out with the New Yorkers. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, word the mother, son. You know what I'm saying? We out here, B. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that though. But nah, do you all good, man. But look, we gotta drop you, stay around.
Come on. We're gonna bring you back.
All right, so real quick. So on offense and defense, on each side, to keep it at 11 players each, I had to put like a utility position on each side. Yeah. On the defensive side, we got one that can be your third linebacker, or it can be your nickel. We're gonna put that in the linebacker group, so that linebacker group has 3 players.
Yeah, I think, you know what? Let's just, because I think that with the way the game has evolved, that now defenses have to be more flexible.
Yeah.
Hence why there's 5 DBs on the field,
Right.
opposed to
And that fifth DB though, he has to drop down and play linebacker in some aspects. So
was a traditional 4-3 defenses. Everybody won a 4-3 back then in the 90s. That was the traditional.
Right.
So I think we should just still do 3 linebackers and 5 DBs, regardless.
Yeah.
Because remember, I'm an old school cat. I know a lot of people in the chat was born like in 2099. There's dudes, there's linebackers in the 90s, bro.
I agree. I agree with you. That's what I grew up with. But I know there's a lot of our viewers that are going to want to pick some guys like Mikey Samer still.
That's fine.
And he wouldn't really fit to put him as a outside corner or a linebacker. So that's why I kind of combined the nickel and
we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there, because I did something with Mikey that we'll, once we get there, we'll talk about it.
Right. Yeah. But there's a lot of guys that have kind of gotten used to watching Michigan with the 4-2-5. So
sure. Yeah. All right. So for people who just joined us, we're doing an all-Michigan team. We just got finished with the defensive line. We did defensive tackles, defensive end. Each one of us gave 2 each, and then we had Marmar, who was the caller representing the rest of you. He gave his defensive line picks, and now we're moving on to linebackers. And here we go.
Let's get a caller to call in for the callers team on this. West Squad, this is your time. This is your time, bro.
If that dude Lance wants to call in, I see.
Absolutely. Anybody's welcome to call in, by the way.
No, he gave his linebackers, which they were good. That's a good group, right there.
Yo, is that my list? Are you reading my list?
Hey, Devin Bush was another one, man. I tried to find a spot for him.
He's reading my list.
Yeah.
I swear, I'm not even joking. That's my list. You see that linebacker?
No, we believe you. Hey, listen.
All right. Anyway.
Oh wait, never mind.
Let's do it.
I did find a spot.
My linebackers, because I'm starting, are Lance Flores linebackers. I got Larry Foote, Devin Bush, Dhani Jones. Dhani Jones, obviously part of that 97 national championship team. Nothing really needs to be said. Absolute beast. Larry Foote. Same thing, absolute monster at linebacker, and I could say the same thing for Devin Bush, but he was kind of an athletic freak as well. So
yes,
all right, break it down for me to be able to record this. So, who are you playing at inside linebacker?
Devin Bush,
inside
linebacker, right?
And then who you got at strictly outside linebacker / edge?
Yeah, well, if it's slash edge.
Well, I figure the full-time linebacker, you got linebacker that goes linebacker.
I just want to do so strong side. I'm gonna go with Larry Foote.
Yeah.
Weak side, give me Dhani Jones.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The will linebacker.
Exactly. Right.
I always
in the Sam linebacker.
The Sam.
Right.
I always get them confused. That's why I don't try to, because I'll forget and mix them up. All right, what you got, Maniac?
All right, so. Man, first of all, look, man, Michigan, you're talking about Ian Gold, Dhani Jones, Larry Foote, Cato June.
Ryan, what's my man, Ryan? What is his name?
Yeah. Ryan, I'm Jake Ryan.
Yeah.
Nah, it was another one. Jake Ryan was ill. I think I am talking about Jake Ryan, actually. Yeah.
It was the beast, man.
Yeah.
Sean, oh my God, Michigan has
Sean Crable is a great.
So anyway. Mine, listen.
Yeah, it was Jake Ryan.
My.
Oh wait, hold on.
My Mike linebacker is my man Jerry.
Ryan Nelson. That's the only other Ryan I can find.
No.
I think it's Jake Ryan. It got to be Jake Ryan.
Yeah. All right, what were you saying, Maniac?
So my Mike. I mean my middle. The Mike is Jared Irons. Man, anybody knows. Whoever watched Michigan in the 90s, bro, he was the anchor of that defense, number 37, bro. A straight menace, bro. He was a brick wall. Love my brother Jared Irons. And, these are so hard, man, because big fan of Larry Foote, big fan of all these guys. But I'm going to go, even though he was a middle, but I'm going to move him to the outside, is David Harris.
God damn it.
Another linebacker of that 2006 defense, man. He was another menace, bro.
What squad? This ain't a draft. You can still pick someone.
I just thought I was going to be sneaky, like, ain't nobody think about David Harris.
Yeah, David Harris. And then
Those shout out to you, sir.
we have, and then look, man, it's this one is tough because it's just so many, man. It's just so many, but you know, I had to, because not only was he a beast on the field, man, I just loved his attitude as well. And he brought that Detroit attitude on the field, and that was Larry Foote, man. So I got David Harris, I have Jared Irons,
and then what you got for off ball / nickel?
You see the nickel, damn, the nickel, man.
Yeah, we gotta include that with the corners.
So that'll put 12 players on defense. You want me to separate them?
I put them. Yeah. Not yet. Let's get when we get to the secondary. We do that.
Yeah.
Let's finish linebackers.
Well, no. My question is, do you want me to separate off-ball linebacker and nickel? Because I had them combined to keep 11 players on defense and 11 on offense.
Separate them.
Okay, so that'll put 12 on.
Let's get So Mike Anderson, we see you. You're gonna have to get a different group though, because West Quad has linebackers. So we're gonna give you the safeties.
The secondary.
Or the secondary.
Yeah, secondary.
Exactly, the secondary group. We'll give you the secondary group. We'll bring Mike on for DBs. Yeah, we'll bring you on for DBs. West Quad, give us your linebackers.
All right. Well, I think he sorry, I'm a little sick. That's why.
Yeah, man. Don't stress yourself.
David Harris, highly underrated. I think that people always talk about Patrick Willis, and David Harris was always right there, like numbers wise. Just played for the bum Jets. No offense to any Jets fans, but he used to put up big numbers. It's like, bro, nobody ever talks about him. But I'll go with him.
So David Harris on the which spot?
Middle linebacker. Right. Devin Bush on the weak side. And who's my strong side linebacker? Let me think. I'm just throwing him out there. Yeah, Sean Crable.
Okay.
Crable.
What was that?
Crable beast. Yeah.
Crable.
I also don't think they should have called that
on
Sean Crable. I don't think they call that in Ann Arbor.
Don't leave the punter out.
Green, that's
all right. Give me a second to update the list so that it looks.
Yeah. Take your time.
That's a pretty good list, man. I like that list.
I didn't give my linebackers, did I?
No,
you did not give your linebackers. Actually, I did skip you. My bad.
Give me a second here.
No, so West Quad, what we're gonna do as well is that we're gonna put a poll up. My team, Kinetics, Madmans, and everyone who's called in. So Marmar did the D line. You just did the linebackers.
Maniac, who was your off ball?
Offense is next week.
It was Larry Foote.
Right.
Gotcha.
Real quick, shout out to Dexter Green, who's been a member now for 5 months. Shout out to that. You should become a member.
And Madman, you had Donnie Jones at.
I did that week.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so I've got for my linebackers, I've got. Let me pull up my list here now. Sorry, I got a little bit discombobulated there. All right, so I had on strong side, I had Lamar Woodley there. Y'all had him on the edge, defensive line. I'm playing him at outside linebacker, strong side, and half an edge anyway.
All right.
I've got Devin Bush on the interior, and since I gotta pick another side now. Again, I like a very specific style of defense. If I'm running 3 linebackers, I'm not running a weak side. I'm running guys that are going to pass rush off both sides. So I'm putting Brandon Graham at that other side.
Okay. All right. I know it's a twist there, but okay. Hey, listen, that's we're talking as if you were running that 4-3. Who's gonna be your 3 best linebackers that you like? Of course, again, people, this is preference. This is not
of course
who we think is the greatest Michigan middle linebacker who's the great. No, just in case for people who tuning in, because I'm like, how you gonna say this guy? You know, I want to make sure everyone is on the same.
So the way that I look at it is the guy that I got at nickel, I'm dropping down to that linebacker position when I need him in coverage. So when I want to be able to rush the passer off either side, I'm gonna have Brandon Graham. I'm gonna have Lamar Woodley out there. So that's what I like to do.
Is that you, Wes?
Well, yeah, my bad. I got booted. I don't know what happened.
Nah, it's all good. Look, we're gonna drop you. Stay backstage though. We got Mar backstage too. We're gonna get to our next position group, which Mike Anderson.
Real Peppers, bro.
Not yet.
Hey. We got
not done yet. We're not done.
If you want to put Jabril Peppers at one of your linebacker spots,
that's who I was gonna put, and I'm gonna spoil it at my nickel outside linebacker because he can play both for me.
Yes,
so that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna have 12 people on the defense, when I'm going full out pass rush, when I want to get pressure from both sides from the linebacker position, I'm gonna put Brandon Graham and Lamar Woodley out there. But when I need that fifth DB, when I need that linebacker that can drop in coverage but can also play off ball, I'm putting Jabril Peppers in.
Yeah, that's why I said wait till the secondary, because nickel is a secondary position, not a linebacker position.
Correct.
But yeah, all right. So there we go. But do you want to replace one of your linebackers with Jabril Peppers, West Squad?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Goodbye, Sean Crable. Hello.
Peppers. All right. So now what this does do for the caller team is now that's removed Jabril Peppers from your secondary. So Mike Anderson, unfortunately, if you were going to use Jabril Peppers, you cannot now. Shout out to West Quad though. We're gonna drop you. Stay backstage. All right, we are now moving on to the actually we're gonna do safeties and then corners, and then Mike Anderson will come up, give his secondary picks. Here we go. Safeties is back on you, Maniac. Give us your two safeties.
All right, man. Listen, that's another position Michigan, has done very well, man. But I gotta start with no other than my man Marcus Ray. Marcus Ray, part of the 1997 championship, because he embodied that Michigan defense mentality. And
this is at what position?
This is safety.
Safety, okay.
Yeah. And he was just straight. He was a straight menace. He was a straight missile. When he came, Marcus Ray.
Marcus what?
Ray. R-A-Y, number 29 for the 1997.
That's one that I don't remember, man.
Yeah.
He was on that national championship team.
He's the one.
I think he's the one that hit David Boston.
That hit David Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's another beauty. One of his greatest highlights is against the Buckeyes. So
absolutely.
You gotta put Marcus Ray, baby, because he said put some respect on my name.
That's a fact.
And Ernest Shades, yo, bro, he's probably one of the biggest safeties I ever saw. He was a menace as well, Jay Marion. Those are two good ones. But listen, man, I'm gonna go, man. He's coming back. I'm gonna go my son Rob Moore, man.
Okay.
Go Marcus Ray, Rob Moore. Rob Moore is hands down Michigan's best safety. Shit. In the last 10, 15 years, man. And it's hard to debate that. Michigan has some great safeties, but Rob Moore and Marcus Ray as my safeties.
No doubt. Connecticut's on you. Give us your two safeties. We'll bring up Mike Anderson so he can get ready. Go ahead.
Did you give yours or did I miss it?
No. It's now going back the other way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So at safety, I've got hold on, where's my list at home? Sorry, I'm thrown off right now. Okay. At safety, so I'm gonna go a little bit off. Again, these are my favorites. I don't think they're gonna be looked at as the best of any group. Mm-hmm. But me, I really loved watching. I'm gonna name two guys. First, I'm gonna name Dax Hill. I loved watching him. I think he plays more naturally at safety than he does at corner. I know he played both. I like him at safety. So I'm gonna go with Dax Hill for my for safety one. And for me, and this is again personal favorite player, Jordan Kovacs. I've named him before. I'm putting Jordan Kovacs at the other safety position. that guy during what was a down period for Michigan, man. I know he was a walk-on and he wasn't like the star of the team, but it just seemed like every time there was a big play, he was there.
No doubt.
I loved watching that guy. So I'm going Jordan Kovacs. I'm going with Dax Hill.
He's no, you're right, man. Kovacs, he's the epitome of a football player. That's what it is. You know, he's just a guy, man. He didn't have, like you said, all the upside like these 5 stars, but he played, he was smart, and he was, he could tackle, bro. That dude will come up and smack you. He just wasn't an elite safety, but what a football player. Like you said, man, he did play for some bad teams, but man, shout to Kovacs, man. I respect him. I like this game. I respected it very much.
Yeah, I like how Jay Marion said. I always felt like he had a very high football IQ and he was very rarely out of position. You know, he wasn't necessarily, like I said, the most athletic or the best player on the team, but he always seemed like he was in the right position for what the play was, what it needed.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Antoine, yes. You mean Leroy Horde. Yeah, of course, Leroy Horde, man. He was a beast, man. And Jared Bunch. I'm assuming you're talking about Jared Bunch as well, man. You know that he was a fullback. Horde was a running back. He played for Cleveland as well. For those that I know, I don't think Kinetic nor Madman was probably born in that time, but Michigan, he ran off. He beat USC in the Rose Bowl. He big run to cap that, man.
I'll give full transparency, even though I'm about to turn 39 here in a couple weeks, and I was always a
I'm 43. So
but I was always a Michigan fan because I liked the colors and I like my older siblings were Michigan fans, but I didn't really understand it. I didn't really start seriously watch. I didn't start watching until the late 90s, but I didn't really seriously get into following it until that 2003, 2004, that era.
Right. So, okay. Let me go. I'll give my safeties, and then Mike will get to you. So for me at safety, I had to finagle some things here to make it what I wanted it to be. All right. So I got Mike Sanders still at safety.
Okay. I can see him playing safety.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I also here have Jabril Peppers playing safety. I got Jabril. I'll say Jabril strong safety. Mike Sanders still free safety. Those are my picks. That's just who I like personally. I'm not saying either one of these guys are the greatest at that position for Michigan or whatever. Mike Sanders still. I had to find a position for him because when we get to corner, which I think might be the toughest on this defense to decide. I had to really parse this out, and Mike didn't make the cut for me there, so I had to put him somewhere. So that's how I feel about it. Mike Anderson, give us yours.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. How you feeling?
Not bad. I just did a show over the college football. He's doing a Michigan and Ohio State thing over there.
Yeah, Mike Rogers. Mark Rogers.
I just had to go over and chew him out real quick. Yeah, he talking about leather helmets and all that stuff don't count. Like, right. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey man, what can you say?
That's what Ohio State fans do best. They cherry pick timelines to fit their narrative.
Exactly.
For sure.
Timeline Tommy's over there.
I was about to say, okay. We doing safeties or corners right now?
We're doing both. Well,
we actually should have waited until we finished the corners because you're gonna do the entire secondary.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're doing safeties first, so
yeah. Okay. What about to say? So I can use. I mean, because on my list, you guys are named guys on my list, and that's okay. I can use these guys.
Okay.
As long as they weren't named by West Quad or Marmar, you're good. Which I doubt that any of Marmar's picks are going to be in your secondary.
Just to real quick, just to recap that. So for the Callers team, which is what you're picking the defensive backs for.
Yes.
Marmar on the defensive line has Craig Rowe, Mike Dana, Willie Henry, and David Ajabo. West Quad for the linebackers pick Jabril Peppers, David Harris, and Devin Bush. So the only one there that you're not able to pick is Jabril Peppers because he's already on the team at linebacker.
Right.
Okay, that was my strong safety. Okay. Yeah, that was my strong safety. Okay. Well, I got a sleeper for that, I guess. Okay, for my safeties, right? Like I say, he took Hill from me. I mean, he took Peppers from me. I don't got a question to ask. This is a little bit offbeat. Y'all remember that 97 game, Penn State, Michigan?
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember somebody got clobbered on the sideline?
Yeah, that was my man. He was the captain. Oh man.
Didn't he later hit?
That hit ended his career, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
Both guys.
Both. The tight end.
Both guys.
Right. I forgot his name. He was the captain.
I can't think of his name either, man. I was trying to think of his name. I can't think of his name, man.
Antoine, what was his name? Shout out to Lich Max, who has arrived.
Yeah, who knows that guy's name to knock that Penn State guy out of? They both, it was like a train wreck. We ain't sorry to get off topic. Sorry about that. But I was trying to figure out who that was. He probably been on my list. Okay, so since Peppers is going strong safety, I'm going to use Metellus.
Good pick.
Okay,
I'm gonna use Metellus. He's a decent guy. He's a decent guy. He gave up a player to
Adrian Taylor,
right?
Adrian Taylor.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Metellus is gonna be one of my safeties.
All right.
And somebody mentions Kovacs. I remember Kovacs, man. He was a good player.
I love Kovacs.
I love the. Them teams weren't all that great, but he was. He showed up. Actually, he played in the NFL too, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a DB's coach for the Bengals.
He played for
Interesting enough, he's the position coach for both DJ Turner and Dax Hill.
Yep.
Okay, because he played for Miami for a while. Yes.
They could have been better this year, if I'm being honest, but that's something else.
Hey, that's my boy, man. I love Jordan Kovacs.
Yeah.
He's my personal pick. Hopeful that, again, in what I've said before on the show, when Wink decides to go elsewhere or retire or whatever, I think Lamar Morgan's the guy. I hope they at least try to bring in Kovacs for the secondary.
I'm sure he would love to come back. Okay, so I got my Metellus. Okay, and I also want to put Ohio State killer Moore.
Rob
Moore. Yeah.
All right.
So those are my two safeties. They'll be my two safeties right there.
All right.
This is a good list. I like this, Steve.
It's funny because that got a lot of the people I got on my list. A lot. And some of that secondary is going to be the same. So
the secondary
do we want to start? Do we want to have Mike start off the corners?
Yeah,
I got corners. I got my corners already.
Go ahead, Mike.
So you know what? You're gonna pick two corners and a nickel.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I got you right here. Okay. Sorry about that. My safety, I messed that up. I forgot I had Dax Hill over here. But anyway, my safeties, of course, you got.
Do you want to replace Rod Moore and Josh Metellus with Dax Hill?
Or you want to put Dax Hill as your nickel?
I will replace. Okay, my nickel is okay. My my corners are Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. Talal. And my nickel is Sinistril.
Okay.
What was that second corner?
Talal.
That's a name I don't recognize.
Wait a minute.
Talal?
That's
Talal. Never mind.
All right.
I was not hearing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got Woodson, Talal, and Sinistril.
Ooh, got you. That's elite. That's elite.
Tough.
Yeah.
Very elite.
I
might shock some people with mine.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
Okay, you can go.
Yeah, my bad. I know who Ty Law is. I just wasn't hearing it.
Yeah. All right. No, so it's funny because again, me, I've watched Michigan closely in the 90s. I have to pick Ty Law, and especially one of my most memorable moments of Ty Law was he put Joey Galloway's ass in a blender, 28 zip. Lost that. In the words of my brother Johnny JOJU gets nothing. Joey Galloway, he got nothing that game. Ty Law, and he's first ballot Hall of Famer. He proved it in New England. The dude was just a menace. Yeah. He could come up, punch you in your mouth. He was just, again, those 90s, those Michigan defenses in the 90s embodied Michigan football, man. Everybody could hit. The safeties, the corners, the linebackers. It was just crazy. So I'm going to go Ty Law. My nickel. Now, this was tough, man.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm going based on cover skill more here than anything. I got to pick Jordan Lewis over Jabril. Now, Jabril's the more athletic player than Jordan Lewis. I don't think no one is going to argue that. And it's hard to keep
actually,
Jabril.
Nick Saban might argue with you, but
But again, remember, this is our own. We're not saying who's the greater. No, because people are going to be like, yo, how you? Again, it's hard. Jabril Peppers was but I got to go Jordan Lewis. He's one of the better covers ever. You talking about, so I got Ty Law, I got Jordan Lewis, and of course, again, I got to go Charles Woodson, man. That was my guy. I don't think, bro, he was getting 3 catches a game. You're going to really think Connor Stallions was out there with that secondary. You ain't going to catch nothing with them guys.
Right.
And listen, Charles Woodson and Ty Law, again, I didn't really start paying attention and following till after they were in the NFL. So I know them from the NFL. But I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with a lot of their work at Michigan. I know they went to Michigan. And I know them from their NFL, but yeah.
And you had them basically back to back, right? You had the Ty Law, and then Woodson came in right after that.
In fact, as a freshman, Charles Woodson shut
Terry
down
Glenn.
Terry Glenn.
Another
all-time great at Ohio State. So, man, we did. Michigan secondary was elite in the 90s.
Absolutely.
Man. The one thing I would say about a lot of these teams, man, we underachieved a lot.
Definitely.
And that's why we lost a lot of games we had no business losing in the 90s, man. Trust me. But we were stacked, man. We were stacked. So those are my 3 again. I'm going Ty Law, Jordan Lewis as my nickel, and Charles Woodson, man.
No doubt. All right.
Jordan Lewis is a good player.
By the way, speaking of Jordan Lewis, and when you said, Jabril a better athlete, Nick Saban, who actually went to a satellite camp, I believe, in Michigan, right? Maybe it wasn't a satellite camp in Michigan, whatever it was. He went to a camp that Jordan Lewis was at, and he said Jordan Lewis, the greatest athlete he's ever seen at that time, whenever that was. But yeah.
I'm just based on what we saw
for sure
from Jabril on the field, man. And in fact, I think Michigan should have used them even more on the offensive
side. I agree, 1,000%. All right, Kinetic, it is your turn since we are snaking the other way. Give us your corners.
All right. Well, I already spoiled it earlier that my nickel is going to be Jabril Peppers because in my opinion, when I'm putting a nickel on the field, I want them to be able to drop in coverage. I want them to be able to play the run. I want them to be able to move all over the field. In my opinion, I don't think we've ever had another defensive player that was able to move around all over the field anywhere we needed him than Jabril Peppers. So I'm putting Jabril Peppers at my nickel position. Cornerback. Now, again, I know Charles Woodson. If we're talking greatest Michigan players, Charles Woodson's there. My personal favorites that I've enjoyed watching that make me get excited to watch Michigan football. Corner 1, I got Will Johnson. Corner 2, I'm going with my guy DJ Turner. As personal preference, I know.
Your team is definitely losing.
It's
the players that I like to play.
It's just one game that he made me want to break my TV, and I think we all know which
that angle was so stupid, bro. I was so
twice in this game.
He can't be on my list just for that dumbass angle he took in that.
But I just loved watching him play, man. I mean,
the dumbass angle.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from what he was as a football player, but it was just a bad game for him, bro. Yeah. And it just yes, Jack Sawyer. Roy's dealer. That is the TCU game that he was diving for shoelaces. Why? I don't know.
Man. That was all bad, bro. All right, so look, let me give mine real quick. Of course, I got Charles Woodson, corner 1. It's no doubt about it. This is at a time early where I was really watching Michigan football. in terms of like my adolescence and really understanding it. And Charles Woodson was just the best player on the field week in and week out. It didn't matter if it was offense or defense a lot of the time, right? Corner number 2. This is where you guys might want to sue me. All right, corner number 2. This guy, and I left Ty Law. Ty Law is not on my list, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Not because he's not a beast, and we can have that argument another time. I just wanted to get that out the way. Leon Hall is corner number 2 for me.
Okay,
that's what I couldn't think of.
Leon Hall was an absolute beast at Michigan. Yes. He wasn't shabby with the Bengals either in the NFL. Leon Hall, corner number 2 for me. And then at nickel, and this is why I had to do the moving around that I had to do with Sandra Still and Jabril Peppers and put them both at safety, because I think Jordan Lewis as a covered nickel is just better than both of them. Yes. And certainly was it Wisconsin? He made the ridiculous, like almost horizontal backwards in the air, like perpendicular with the ground. It was crazy, parallel with the ground rather. Crazy interception. I got Jordan Lewis as my nickel. There you have it.
Yeah. All right, you want me to really quickly just kind of recap?
Let's do it.
His defense. All right, so for Maize Madman, his defense, and this is again his personal favorites.
Right.
Defensive line, he's got Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham, Maurice Hurst, Lamar Woodley. Linebackers, he's going with Larry Foote, Devin Bush, Dahani Jones. Ooh. And in the defensive backfield, he's got outside corners, Charles Woodson and Leon Hall, nickel corner, Jordan Lewis, and safeties, Mike Sainristil and Jabril Peppers.
Sounds like I won. I'm gonna just be honest.
I don't know. I think mine is the game. Just y'all don't have to tell me who's the winner. I'm
right.
All right, Maniac's going with on the defensive line. He's putting Lamar Woodley and Brandon Graham at defensive ends. He's going with the interior of Alan Branch and Kenneth Grant. Linebackers, he's got David Harris, Jarrett Irons, and Larry Foote. And for the defensive backfield, he's got Jordan Lewis, Ty Law, Charles Woodson, Rod Moore, and Marcus Ray.
Man, who was that again?
That was Maniac.
Marcus Ray.
Ray.
Man. Now I'm talking about that squad is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's pretty tough.
So for me personally, my favorite, and I know mine's off a little bit from what most people would think is best players, is the guys that I like watching. I went with D-line, Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham. I got Rashawn Gary on the inside and Chase Winovich on the other end. Okay. I got linebackers. I got Lamar Woodley, Devin Bush, and Brandon Graham because I want to be able to rush from anywhere on the field. Okay. And then I got defensive backfield. I got Will Johnson, DJ Turner outside, Dax Hill, and Jordan Kovacs at safety. And then at nickel, this is my specialty spot. I got my guy Jabril Peppers, who can play anywhere on the defense that I need him to play.
So listen.
And then for the callers
give us
team,
the caller team.
All right, so we got Marmar on the defensive line. He picked Craig Rowe, Mike Dana, Willie Henry, and David Ajabo. West Quad with the linebackers went with Jabril Peppers, David Harris, and Devin Bush. And then Mike Anderson for the defensive backs went with outside corners Charles Woodson, Ty Law, safeties Rod Moore and Josh Metellus, and nickel corner Mikey Sainristil.
Not bad.
No,
we're gonna have this up for you guys. We'll put this in a nice little edit. We'll have it up for you on.
You don't like my DEs, champ? Lamar Woodley, Brandon Graham. Yo,
hey,
sorry, people gonna tear apart me picking DJ DJ Turner, but I don't care.
Yeah, only two names I can. Yeah, only two names I got a question about. Maybe Turner's not bad, but Craig Rowe. Did somebody say Craig Rowe?
Yeah, that was
Marmar picked him for defensive end for the caller team.
Okay,
so y'all lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, if he liked Craig Rowe though, that's what we're asking for.
No, it's not wrong.
It's the people's team.
I think DJ Turner is the lone question on. Well, it ain't the lone question. There are questions other places. Obviously, I have the strongest team.
Yeah,
that's clear. But
I'd say I've got the most versatile defense. I've got speed everywhere. I've got pass rush. I've got coverage. I think I've got the most versatile defense. We can come out in 3-4. We can come out in 4-3, 4-2-5. It don't matter.
So listen, we also want guys, anyone in the chat, Antoine, also give us your whole team. Antoine, Taco Charlton was a beast too.
Taco is at the restaurant, bro.
Taco, yeah.
Put Dot. I like Dots right there. Dots last one.
Hey, if there's any Taco fans in the chat, make sure y'all come out to the spring game.
That team,
we got something
bro.
For you.
I'm
team.
Calling
That's
BS.
No, listen. That defensive team that I put out there, Gorillas. That's a zoo. I put a zoo out there.
Yeah, that's a dangerous team, man. That's a dangerous team.
Listen. If I've got,
he need to hear the teams again.
Imagine the pass rush that you get from my team with Aiden Hutchinson, Mason Graham, Rashawn Gary, Chase Winovich, and then on the outside linebackers, you got Lamar Woodley and Brandon Graham. Man, come on, that quarterback's going to be under duress the entire game.
Dallas still choking on Taco. Hey, didn't they take Taco over? And damn, I hate to do this to a Michigan guy because Taco was my guy at Michigan.
Hey,
they took him over. Damn, like an actual monster in the league right now.
TJ Watt.
There you go, TJ Watt. Taco Charlton over TJ Watt.
I mean,
you probably want that back now.
Yeah, with Maize Smith, hey, Dallas is having a rough time with Michigan players right now.
That's a fact.
I still like Maize.
Shoemaker. What's my man? The tight end?
Luke Schoonmaker.
The Schoonmaker. Yeah, they probably not gonna be picking no Michigan players for a long time.
It's been a while. They pick Maize Smith, Shoemaker, McKeon, Sean McKeon.
They got Jordan Lewis too, don't they? They didn't draft him.
Well, Jordan Lewis is actually
Jordan Lewis is doing good. He's doing good.
He's been there for a while.
But they didn't draft him though, right? Did they draft him?
He's been with Dallas his whole career. Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
It was Donovan People-Jones who went from Cleveland. He went to Detroit. Then I don't know.
Hey, nah, Steve got to explain himself.
What happened?
Explain to me how you saw my team. You saw Maniac's team.
Gorillas,
you went with Maniac's team. Antoine,
y'all sleeping on my team, man. Y'all sleeping on my team.
How I have
you
on my shoe.
You give Jesse Minter or Wink Martindale my team and watch them cook.
So no, Kinetic. I'm glad you brought that up. Jack Sawyer, Roy's dealer did mention something. Since we do a defense, now let's all pick our favorite defensive coordinator to coach this defense. It's only right. So
all right.
I mean, all right. I'm gonna go with Jesse Minter because I think he plays the best version of the best defense. I've been a fan of Wink Martindale's defense since he first showed up at the Baltimore Ravens with that back in the early 2010s, I think. And I think Jesse Minter currently runs the best version of that defense.
Okay.
Well, give me
again. That I had that in mind when I put my defense together because like I said, I want to be able to rush from anywhere on the field. I want to be able to stunt and twist. I want to keep that quarterback guessing, not knowing where to keep his eyes to watch for the rush. I want him under duress the entire time and making mistakes that those corners can capitalize on. So,
well, I personally gonna go with the only one that I know,
Jim Herman.
Jim Herman.
No.
There it is.
Yo, Jim,
my DC.
Yeah, I think I like. It's hard. You're right, West Quad. I'm stuck between Jim Herman and Jesse Minter. The reason I'm gonna slightly go Jesse because of what he did at Michigan has never been done probably in our history, bro. He's only lost one game as a DC, which was that TCU game. That's it. And a lot of it has to do with Kinetic's cornerback, but I'm not going to say nothing. You know,
hey, leave my dude alone.
He had him in the right position.
Hey, yo, it's a dumbass angle, man. I can't get over that. I wanted to knock my television over after that.
And he's the last D. Well, those are the two last DCs to win national championships: Jim Herman and Jesse Minter. So you know that's definitely too hard to pick. But I'm gonna kind of go with the new school and Jesse just because of why he was able.
I'm gonna go with Don Brown to coach my defense.
Come on, man. We'll definitely shut the show down. Don't mention Dom. Somebody said it too. Just don't mention Dom.
You just threw away all your goodwill right there. Get him out of here.
Dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ass.
Like, I don't care who you got there, you back there, and you just screwed it up.
With Don Brown, you lost all credibility. Maybe I cut you down, Michael.
No. I didn't say Don Brown.
I'm telling Johnny what you said.
I was joking. No, I think I would go Jesse Minter to coach my defense. Yeah.
No. It's you got to, man. And Mitch, look, one thing is for certain, man, regardless of everyone we pick, these guys were talented players, man. Michigan just, we've been blessed, man, as fans to see these guys. And
I like everybody's team.
Yeah,
everybody did good.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what I say. Everybody wins.
You just saying that because you picked Craig Rowe.
Bro, everybody's a winner, man.
Yeah,
everybody's a winner.
You said what? You
I'm
said
just
what?
messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I like Craig Rowe because I'm paying homage to Craig Rowe, though.
No doubt.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. I'm just giving.
And he was a beast, though.
He was. Listen, in that 2000,
Craig Rowe was a beast under Brady Holt.
Yeah,
he was a dog.
When you had him, you had Jake Ryan, you had Mike Martin.
Yeah, they were dogs.
You had Frank Clark. No, that team.
Frank Clark. Frank Clark. Heck yeah.
Yeah, Frank Clark. Yeah, he was a dog.
Remember that interception against Virginia Tech, bro? How athletic. He just jumped in the air. Yo, bro, that 2011 team was stacked, bro. That was Brady Holt's best team. After that, he didn't really do anything.
I mean, look, everybody does. I do see everybody shitting on Don Brown, and he deserves that because he was. I'm not going to get into it. However, Don Brown destroyed the teams he was supposed to beat. If it was a matter of Michigan being the favorite, he beat the hell out of those teams.
So what you're saying, Madman, is that Don Brown was the James Franklin of Michigan DCs.
Absolutely.
He said, "Don't come back out this room."
What the hell?
Who is he talking to?
I know he's talking to back there.
Yeah, I hope it's it's not domestic. Don't worry about it.
Disclaimer.
They about to call defects on you, boy. You better watch out.
I don't give a damn. These kids don't act right, man. They don't listen to nothing, man. Yeah, they just out of control, man. I don't do that out of control. I'm old school, bro. You better sit down and find something to do.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I would say about as far as Don Brown, we know he ended up being a stubborn DC. I think he just refused to change. He was just too stuck in his ways. Remember his first season, right, as the DC. That was the 2016 team. The same year Jordan Lewis did the interception. We go into Columbus. Mind you, he only gave up like 14 points against Iowa, right?
Right.
The offense lost that game for us. That Don Brown defense did what they had to do. Now in Columbus, what people forget, it was late third quarter. Ohio State has 7 points, and you know how them 7 points came, right? Via pick six. That was a pick six. He had Ohio State 0 points in like 5 minutes in the third quarter. Here comes Wilton, whoever he is, Spate. He wants to throw an interception to Baker, and that momentum, forget it. Our offense was a no-show in the fourth quarter, still got it to overtime, and we know what happened there. I don't want to get into it, but I got it. Don Brown, he did play well against them teams, but once they figured him out, oh my goodness.
Don Brown will pay for his war crimes.
They were treating Don Brown like a Diddy party for sure. He was getting treated like
he refused to get out of that man-to-man, and Urban Meyer ran crossing routes to death.
You're right. That 2018. I'm not defending
Disgusting.
that. At that time, he knew at this time he had to adjust. And Ohio State what's crazy is none of those receivers were 5 stars at that 2018, but they all was good. Campbell, Olave, number 14, I forgot his name. They just had dudes that was nasty. And rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, bro. He shredded. Oh my goodness, that was ugly, bro. I think I turned my TV off like in the third quarter. I said, I ain't watching this shit. I'm gonna punch my wife on her face.
I'm just glad y'all. I know y'all tearing me apart for the DJ Turner thing, but I'm just glad y'all gave my boy Jordan Kovacs some love. I thought y'all were gonna drag me for that one.
You know what? I saw that coming from a mile away. I was like, because I would have picked it. That's a good pick. I wasn't even going I was like, that's a good pick. Because you're right, he was always in the right place at the right time. He might not be the best athlete.
Correct.
But he was definitely a coach on the field.
Yes, West Quad, 100%.
He was that player that's like the glue for the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
He was always there to pick up when someone else was out of position or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But I ain't gonna hold y'all, bro. I don't even like thinking about that Adidas era, bro. Them ugly ass jerseys, bro. I hate it. I hate thinking about it.
I've erased it from my memory.
Everything about it.
I erased it from my memory.
Bro, it's trash.
That time never happened. That time never happened, right?
So it goes from like 2011 to 2021. That's my history.
Right.
No, definitely. So, all right, since we here, we gave our DC, we gave our team. Before we kind of wrap it up, what was it? And we're gonna ask the callers first. What was the game that made you in love with Michigan? And what is your favorite Michigan game as of today? Your favorite Michigan game of all time. So again, which was the game that made you love Michigan, and what's your your favorite Michigan game of all time?
I don't know if you guys remember Ricky Powers, Jock Vaughn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's when I started watching Michigan.
Early 90s.
That's when I started watching Michigan, man. And those guys were running all over the place, man. I also remember Tim Bianca-Batuka. I remember those games. You know, he had like a game where he had like 300 yards rushing.
Yep. 313. 1995.
Hey, that game was the longest game I ever watched in my life.
What's that?
The Bianca Batuka game, man, because he was just running all through him, man. It was just like the longest time. Yeah, it was the longest game I ever watched in my life.
Yeah,
but my favorite might have to be the 21. It might have to be the 21.
Man, the 21 coming down, it was just poetic.
The 21 game would have been my favorite. The 21 Ohio State game would have been my favorite until the Rose Bowl. In my opinion, the Alabama Rose Bowl game, man, that game, in my opinion, first of all, in my mind, the Rose Bowl is the biggest bowl of all, right?
The granddaddy of them all.
Right. And in my opinion, that Michigan-Alabama game in 23 was the best Rose Bowl of all time. That's just my opinion, man. I'll say, like I said, I started watching and really following in the early 2000s. But I remember the first game that I sat down and I still remember where I was watching it. And it sucks because we lost the game, but that I just was so into, and I've never stopped since. Was was it 2006? The Michigan Ohio State number 2 game.
Yeah,
was it 2006? That was the first one that I just got so into it, and I've been full throttle Michigan fan ever since.
Roy Roundtree.
Okay, I got my cheat a little bit.
Black Hat. That was a hell of a game. It looked like we was done.
Instant classic.
Hey, Roy Roundtree with the catch.
And wait till we listen.
That was Chad Henne and Mike Hart and who all was on that team back then?
Which one?
The 2016 I'm talking about.
Mike Crable.
Manningham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Manningham. It was
Avant.
No, Avant was gone.
What team was my guy Devin Funchess? What team was he on?
Who on?
Devin Funchess. What was he on? I remember him.
He was he was after like the 2011 team. He was
those.
Yeah, he came when they had them all blue Adidas jerseys against Penn State. We won that game.
we're not gonna do offense today, obviously, because time permitting. But be ready, start getting your list ready because
Hey, man,
get in the kitchen, we gonna cook.
My favorite game was
be
the
on the lookout
2020.
on Twitter because we're gonna put these
That
teams
was
up for y'all to vote on.
my favorite game was the 2022 Ohio State Michigan game because
the
we ain't
shoe?
won there since. Yeah, because we ain't won there since what 2002. 2000. Yeah. So I think that was an epic game for the turn, and then we went back there last year and made it our home, and then yesterday at the basketball court we made it our home again. We planted the flag again.
No
I
doubt.
heard. So hold on. So Michigan in the basketball game went to the middle of the court and planted the flag again.
Nah, we just doing that metaphorically. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I thought they really did it.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Shout out to
facts.
Justin. He says Michigan versus Irish night game was a great game. Absolutely. That's the 2011 game we were talking about. Instant classic.
What a game. I mean,
yes.
I don't really want to get into the offense because
we was putting Brian Kelly in the blender.
Jeremy Gallen, bro. He was so underrated.
Was that Irish night game? Was that the one with Tate Forcier? What game was it that Tate Forcier balled out?
No, it was.
No,
it wasn't
that was a daytime game.
It was a daytime game.
But it was a Notre Dame game, right?
Yeah, that's when number 20. That's when number 22 took it back. Stronum. He took it back for kickoff return.
Daryl Stone. He got kicked off the team or something. He got suspended, bro.
That was a Notre Dame game when Forcier went off, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Antoine said, "What's your favorite fight song besides Michigan?"
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I know any fight songs besides Michigan.
I got you right now. It's called F Ohio State. They a bum ass team. That's my
period.
Honestly, on the side, you know what? I like when USC.
I like USC too. Yeah.
You could read. Yo, if I was a producer, I'd take that. Bing, hit.
Look, the New Yorkers and the sound effects, bro.
I absolutely hate this team, but I don't know why. I don't even know why I like this fight song, but I can't help it, bro. It's Rocky Top. I hate Tennessee with all my heart.
Damn.
Bro, listen, I lived in Tennessee for 20 years. I am so sick of Rocky Top.
Bro, because they play that shit incessantly. It's like, all right. I mean, I'm pretty sure people feel the same way about the Victors too, though. So,
dude, I am so sick of Rocky Top. I lived there for 20 years, and I'm telling you, I don't think I went a week in the state of Tennessee without hearing that song played somewhere.
Darbaugh and Chesson was a nice duo. Have that list ready next week.
Yo, listen, like we said, man, for everybody in the chat and for Mom West.
My favorite,
just when we won't be.
What's your favorite, Maize?
We won't be doing offense today, but get your list ready because when we come here, we want y'all to call up. We want y'all to give us your favorite, O linemen, tight ends, wide receivers.
How about instead of other fight songs? What about chants like the Florida State chant outside of Michigan? The Florida State chant,
legendary,
yeah.
Late 90s, early mid 90s.
Yes,
horrible place to be when they start doing that job.
Tallahassee. Yeah. But you know what's funny? Kinetic. At that time, I was a huge baseball fan as well. So the Atlanta Braves had the same chant.
Yeah,
they both.
It feel different. And
hey, Manny. Yeah. Don't it seem like the Braves was always on TV back in the day?
Yeah,
they were.
They were always in the World Series.
Always, bro. I was like, damn.
They had that one player that was in every game for 30 years.
Smoke, the pitcher. You talking about the pitcher? Yeah, the pitcher, Smoke.
David Justice?
No, not David Justice. He used to date Halle Berry.
Yeah, he was giving her the bing bong bing.
It was because of Ted Turner and TBS because he owned all that stuff down there.
Correct. So
Chipper Jones, that's what I was talking about. He was in every Braves game for 30 years.
Oh yeah, the third base, not Chipper Jones.
Yeah, Chipper Jones.
My favorite fight song is "What's My Name" by DMX.
Didn't B12 have a song called "Fight Song" or something?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, man. So yeah, there's a lot of
B.I.B. That's my favorite fight song.
Somebody said Georgia. I don't recall their fight song. I gotta listen to it.
What that means is I tell money bye-bye and pop in his right eye. Hey.
What is Georgia's?
Facts.
I'll be honest, I don't know any other team's fight songs. I know some chants. I don't know any other team's fight songs.
These guys, Notre Dame has something similar. They have like two. They have the
then my voice got raspy.
Damn,
Notre Dame's is trash.
I grew up.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Penn State's chant's pretty good too.
Wait,
we are Penn State that
trash.
We
are Penn State.
Trash.
Now, listen. If I'm in the bar feeling nice, I'm singing that with the.
Hey, listen. I will say, jump around is classic.
Yeah. Oh, no, jump around is fire.
Right.
And when Michigan in 21 was
hey,
there,
right?
Doesn't one of the Virginia teams use like Enter Sandman as their fight song?
Virginia
Tech.
Legendary.
That place is crazy.
It don't matter because it's trash. They trash. But back when they were a good team, and if you ever been to that stadium, that joint actually moves and shakes. When they were good.
One thing I can say, and again, I don't get caught up in these, conference but those SEC stadiums, bro. The atmosphere for majority is different.
Well, LSU look crazy. I will give it that.
A lot of them, bro. You see. It's just different. Like the Big Ten, I think Michigan is just kind of getting there. Let's keep it real. People used to say we was a wine and cheese kind of crowd, right? Because a lot of people that were uppity. And it's like, now we need the goons to come in here and yell, like, shut your ass up. Then get out of here if you ain't going to be yelling. But we know Penn State is probably arguably the most hostile stadium in the Big Ten, right?
Hey.
I'm just saying.
Well, part of it is alcohol sales now.
Now we
it's about to go up in Ann Arbor. Watch.
I'm probably gonna catch some flack for this, but how Virginia Tech get Enter Sandman and we end up with Mr. Brightside? How'd that happen? Can we get a reshuffle on this?
Are y'all saying y'all don't like Mr. Brightside?
No, I don't like.
It's not that I don't like it, but it don't feel like a football song.
It's a song about getting drunk. I don't like it.
You know what song I always like listen to before I played in my high school games? I forget the name of the guy. Someone tell me the name of the guy that had that song. But remember that hit 'em high, hit 'em low song?
Hit 'em high, hit 'em low.
Yeah.
Is that
why can't we have something like that? Why we got Mr. Brightside?
That was Will Smith.
No, it wasn't Will Smith.
Fire.
Hey, he is not singing Mr. Brightside right now.
Hey, someone tell me in the chat who was it that had that hit 'em high song? Like,
was it Method Man and Redman?
No, it wasn't that big of a name.
What is he listening to? Exactly, classic.
I mean, it's cool. I don't hate the song. It just don't feel like a football song to me.
All right, all right. Let me ask y'all: if you could replace Mr. Brightside,
literally anything.
Hey, I think Jay Marion got it. I think it was JT Money. Okay? I think it was JT Money.
That's
okay.
Trash.
Hey, if we can replace the song,
that was trash.
Hold on, Maniac. What was that song that
live coming from the 504?
Who was it that guy that used to come out?
Like a bunch of no rope?
Crap, hold on. Keep talking. I'm gonna find it. There was a song, a fight, like a guy in the fight game used to come out to that I just got me hyped every time. Hold on.
Was it which fight? Was it
It's like the song is like "Can't Be Touched" or something like that.
Oh, that's Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I forgot that one.
No, can't be touched. How will you ever? Can't be touched. That joint was trash.
I don't think that's the song. That's the same song, Maize.
It is.
He had his own song.
Hold on, I'll play it for you real quick. We probably gonna get canceled for this, by the way.
Yeah. No. Let's not do that. We don't want. We're gonna get flagged.
We definitely getting flagged.
Hey, Maize. They asking for the link in the chat.
Hey, you know what our state song is? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
No more. No. You know what's Ohio State? I'm gonna tell you. Is
Oh,
in the Barbie
shit.
girl, in the Barbie
And
girl.
yep. Oh my
Crazy.
goodness.
Oh man. Nah, listen, man. It's true though, Brandon. I agree. I think Michigan is time to Mr. Brightside is fire, but I think it's time.
Don't do Mr. Brightside like that.
Hello.
That one? Tonight?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That Mickey Mouse ass song.
It's trash.
Hey, Michigan needed to.
So I have a song proposal.
Huh?
Oh, here we go.
A song proposal. Go ahead.
I have a song proposal of what we should use instead. I think that we should use, specifically for the Ohio State game, our fight song should be "Ready to Die" by Andrew WK.
I never even heard of
The
this.
I don't know that song.
You should definitely check that out.
Because you don't need to bother.
You've probably heard it before, but didn't realize that's what it was.
Ready to Die
by Andrew WK. Yes, he's originally a comedian turned rock star.
Okay. Mike Anderson is back. What you got for us?
Yeah, sorry about that. My phone went dead, man.
Nah, don't worry about it, champ.
Hey, Chris,
Mr. Brightside is about some dude being a
bro. Y'all don't hear it? The dude sound like he listens like he's outside the window, and it's killing me. Like, no,
Hey,
bro,
yo.
I don't like this shit.
Pause, bro.
I mean, he's not wrong. That's kind of how the song sounds.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
It sounds like the guy's just kind of watching it, you know?
Bro, I don't like it, bro. I've never liked Mr. Brightside. I'm sorry, I would never like it.
No, I get that. But we talking about Mr. Brightside or another song?
Mr. Brightside.
Mr. Brightside.
Yeah. It got a good melody. It's one of those
It's one of those sing-alongs.
in the moment. Yeah, it's just in the moment. Now, is that some shit? If I have y'all come over to my crib, we gonna play Mr. Brightside?
Absolutely not.
Listen, Mr. Brightside is not a bad song.
Hey,
it's just not a football song.
But you know what? Why I brought it up, right? It was in the UK. You know, over in Europe is what really blew it up. You know what I'm saying? So let me see.
Beautiful People by Till I Collapse. I would do Till I Collapse.
Till I Collapse is good. Listen,
yes, absolutely.
I don't. Okay, with the Beautiful People, I wouldn't play the whole song, but you know how sometimes they'll play like the intro to a song just like before a play.
Right.
The intro to Beautiful People is wicked, but once the song starts, it kind of takes away the mystique of it. So if you just had that sound clip with the intro, I'm all for that at the games.
If we're doing a rock song, I want to do
that joint gives me
Bulls on Parade. Give me Bulls on Parade going into the fourth quarter.
Need some rock and roll, man. Some rock and roll.
Some old school rock and roll.
You know what? Rock and roll, old school.
Hey, we should do the Eagles, Hotel California.
That's not a football song.
Michigan.
Hell's Bells.
You know what song is
Hell's Bells going into the half.
Marmar definitely appealing to the old ass crowd at Michigan.
They would love that. The old ass crowd.
The rock song that's fire is Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
I was about to say that. It smells like Teen Spirit. You can't go wrong with.
If we're going for a rock song, one that I think is really good but is often forgot about is Click Click Boom.
Click Click Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that's by Limp Bizkit?
By Saliva.
No, it's Saliva.
By Saliva.
Okay.
What about Welcome to the Jungle?
And then,
Welcome to
the Jungle is good, but again, I feel like at a game, if you're going to play it at a game,
Clemson.
It would be more.
How about Chop Suey?
It would be more like, and Chop Suey's the same way. Some of these songs, it would be better just to play like the guitar riffs, not the song.
Yeah.
Last Resort.
Okay.
This is my last resort.
Only when we're behind. Only when we need a fourth quarter comeback.
Welcome to Detroit is
Don't get
quiet.
ready to
Welcome to Detroit. Now, granted, it's Ann Arbor. Lose Yourself is just too cheesy. I don't like it for the song. I like
man. When we're talking about Michigan football songs, I'm just curious. Has anyone else ever heard that song by Serge Duet?
No. I haven't.
He has a Wolverine song that I think is awesome.
Honestly,
I think it could be mixed and mastered better. I think it could be like produced better, but it's a good song. I like it.
Yeah, I think
another song I wouldn't be mad at is if they did TNT by AC/DC.
Yeah,
TNT, AC/DC.
Oh, TNT. Cause I'm dynamite. TNT.
Even what's my man? Them two guys.
And we're gonna win the fight.
Just to throw it away.
Look, hey, Madman, I'm gonna put in the Discord. I'm gonna put a link to the song. I don't think this is copyrighted. I don't think he's a big enough artist to have it copyrighted. But I want you to listen to it. Tell me.
You can check it in the description.
Yo, I'm mad now. This is a complete surprise. Maize, I appreciate you.
Yo, listen.
What happened?
How about Take Me Home, West Virginia? Oh yeah.
One person suggested
300 brolic by Fat Joe. That make you want to punch somebody in the face.
Hey, Fat Joe got some joints though.
Just
we all the way up.
To turn the corner, I had to run up on them.
Live my lifestyle.
Oh man, there's a lot we could do.
I rock with that. Keegan is here now. I'm sure he's got some songs for us.
You know what?
What up? No, I had much time today. Yeah, what's up, Maniac?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Down here in Florida.
What up, though, Keegan?
Oh,
what up, Marmar?
Maze, he said he's a mod now.
Mod. My bad. I was reading that completely wrong. Absolutely. Yeah. You know we had to.
I had to read it like 3 times to see the O instead of the A. I kept seeing A.
That's my bad. Keegan, what's good, man?
I was just wondering if y'all talked about the playoffs, the playoff changes.
Is it changing this year? Next year?
It's 26. Not next year, 26.
Okay, what's happening? Let us know.
Oh man, I don't know if I can break it down, but there's a Josh Pate episode that came out last night. That's really good. He's a good communicator and thinks like that. But I think it's I don't think they're decided, but it sounds like a 16-team playoff where the Big Ten and SEC get to have maybe 4 in each, and then they also have a say in the selections. So it's going to be formatted differently. And I mean, the word is they may not even stop there, according to Josh Pate. So I was just wondering if anybody was following that news and if they had any thoughts on that.
We're just moving toward a new world order. That's it.
I hadn't heard that one, man. That's a new one.
I think if I remember correctly, we did talk about that last week. Always touched on it a little bit.
We talked about that possible Big Ten SEC merger or whatever, which at this point I just think benefits the SEC more than the Big Ten because the writing is on the wall in terms of what's happening with the money and all of that, and they can't keep up. And I feel the same way about this. The Big Ten is honestly, now granted, it depends on how long this contract is for. And we can see, but 3-4 years from now, I feel like the Big Ten is going to be in a very, very powerful position to be like, yo, we want 6 teams in, and then y'all get 4, and then y'all get whatever is left, right? Because of the way the money is moving, because of the way the recruiting is going on, all of that. So yeah.
So it was already decided, as far as I know, over a year ago that that after the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff. That they are moving to 16 teams now. As far as I know, the allocation of spots per conference is still up in the air and being negotiated, but it is absolutely going to 16 teams after this next year.
Which I don't like.
So what it was, Dillinger on Yahoo was the guy that made the release yesterday, I think, and so it's looking like the Big Ten and SEC will have equal power, and they like the way it was worded was they're like they have to I don't know how to even word it the way that they did, but they have to manage it fairly to the other conferences. But it's pretty much a huge win for the Big Ten and SEC. And the way Josh Pate spun it was that they almost, would have preferred them say no so that they could just do something on their own and take over, which that's
Well,
what it will be in
that's
the
the threat.
future, probably.
That's the threat, and that's how they kind of get away with basically calling their shots for whatever they want. Is that they're
Yeah,
basically
maybe.
saying, we've got all the power, we've got all the money, we've got all the TV contracts, so y'all are gonna be okay with what we want to do, or we're just gonna go do our own thing and leave y'all in the dust.
That's basically it in a nutshell.
And I could see in the future, instead of having the NCAA and all these different conferences, we just have something similar to the NFL, like the NCFL.
And it's like I'm torn on it because I don't necessarily want to see that happen, but if that's what needs to happen to kill the NCAA, I'm with it.
Opting out during games, that would be crazy, but I could also see that happening. The Big Ten and the SEC got too much leverage. Everybody else is going to squeeze it, or it's going to squeeze everybody else out, collect scraps, leftover conferences. Yeah, pretty much. But I also think, and this is just me, look from the outside looking in. I think the Big Ten doesn't have to rush into anything, even with the SEC, because it's been pretty quick and drastic, the change, right? There's been no SEC team in the championship game the last 2 years, right? The teams that they put into the playoffs this year weren't very strong. Texas was their last remaining school, and that's a new school in that conference, right? So that's really a Big 12 team that was last. And the Big Ten has won the last 2 national championships. I think the Big Ten going forward is the power conference. Now, granted, as it stands right now, I'm not mad at both of them being on the same level, but I'm just doing futures outlook here. The Big Ten is going this way, and the SEC is going the other way.
Because look at the recruiting. Look at Oklahoma, man. Like, I think that was a bad move on. They should have stayed in the Big 12.
I agree,
because they are competing to recruit against these top people in the SEC. Not alone them.
They had to do it. They need Texas. Oklahoma needs Texas.
Just like Ohio State needs Michigan.
Right.
I did hear you say that earlier, Marmar. I did catch that part of the show. I think Missouri, they came in their first year, so it's a little bit apples to oranges, but Missouri was able to rise to the top while making the transition. But it is a little bit different because Oklahoma's a little bit set back.
Hey, Keegan, I'm going off the success of the choke art of Oklahoma. Oklahoma always chokes. They were blowing out Georgia in that Rose Bowl about 5, and they choked it away. They always choke, and then Lincoln Riley took that same mentality and mantra to USC. And all I'm saying is Oklahoma ain't been the same since Bob Stoops left. And you gotta understand, they only won one national championship, and that was back in '99 or 2000, one of the two.
Right. Steve says the NIL killed the dominance of the SEC because they can't make one-time payments anymore to get 30 players. That's a fact. These NIL deals are getting extensive and expensive. You got to have the pockets. Now, granted, they have some teams over there. Texas being the main one, Texas A&M being 1A in terms of the teams in the SEC that can spend the money with teams like Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, even now. Penn State. So the pockets are just deeper in the Big Ten is the point, right? Especially at the top of the Big Ten conference. The pockets are deeper, and the SEC sees that, and now they want to partner. And I think Antoine brought that up too. Yeah, the SEC wasn't interested in none of this until the Big Ten started throwing the money around. They want to control the Big Ten money faucet. That's a fact. And also, if you even in these like negotiations for this playoff, this current format, the Big Ten didn't want necessarily for Notre Dame to have like this automatic in, right? That they currently have. That was the SEC that fought for Notre Dame because they understand they can't let Notre Dame go to the Big Ten because then all bets are off, right? They need to keep Notre Dame in the ACC, or they need to somehow get Notre Dame, which probably won't happen, because that shifts all of the power then to the Big Ten. Notre Dame can spend money with Michigan and Ohio State and Oregon and whoever else, in Texas, and Texas A&M can outspend everybody in the SEC.
Yeah, I think this is, I think, an unusual circumstance where you don't want to eliminate the SEC or the Big Ten if you're head to head. You don't want to eliminate them. You want to include them to bring college football into what it should be, which you have to honor tradition. So like money says, yes, conquer the other conference and take over and get all the TV contracts. But I think this could be a unique situation where that's not true and they don't pursue that. And I think that's why you're seeing them negotiate with the TV conference or the, the TV channels. So, but we're seeing it all unfold right now. And one other quick point, I think the ACC is locked up until 2031, which isn't too far away. So that's what, 6 years. You got a lot of opportunity. So even if the NCAA is gone within 2 years by the time they make the next playoff, like what you said, Madman, the money is in the Big Ten right now. So that could be a long time for Michigan to dominate and have like an elite program for a long time. And really, you don't want to see anything change. Like, you're happy, to see changes maybe, but really, you want to ride out this. If you're a Michigan fan, you want to ride out this. There's no real sheriff in town, and to ride it out as long as it lasts, because Michigan's just going to dominate financially.
Yeah. Gentlemen, if anybody else,
now would.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, now would be the time to take advantage of the uncapped spending on players before they implement a player spending cap from
Which
the
is another
NCAA, because
thing.
it's going to come with, especially with that's coming down the pipeline, especially with how much some of these teams are spending on acquiring talent. They're going to impose a cap, just kind of like they did in the NFL.
Yeah, they're already
kind of regulate that. Yeah.
Well, they need to, but they
otherwise,
can't,
if it goes
because
unchecked,
there's no real power. It's the power.
What you got to say,
from
Maize?
the NCAA to the commissioners, and it's just going to take time. So it really can't happen yet.
Yep. Guys, I appreciate everybody coming up. We'll continue this conversation for sure, because this is a good one. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow and break this down some more. But in the meantime, I got to get out of here. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming up. This was a fun experiment. Next week we're doing offense. Until next time, stay angry, my friends.